Today we've got so much to talk about. We've got a quarantine cruise ship. We've got additional testing while on board a cruise. We've got the change of a disembarkation port, which changes an itinerary, and what I think we need to talk about to do with that. We've got lots to talk about with Princess, and our medallions came for our upcoming October 22nd cruise on the Discovery Princess. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday. It's October 12th of 2022, and I am really excited to be here with you today. We are back at headquarters. We had a wonderful time helping our children and having a fun time with them, but it is really nice always to come home again. And so let's go ahead and get started. First off, I wanted to tell you that our medallions came, and I am always so excited to see what color they are now. The very first time we got medallions on our first cruise back after the cruise shut down, our medallions were the right color. They were the platinum color for platinum. Now, I have heard that when you go on a brand new cruise ship for the inaugural year, you get to have a white medallion and the sea witch is the color of your loyalty level, your Captain Circle loyalty level. And so let's see what we got this time. So this is my first time going on a ship during its inaugural year, so I'm really excited about that. The Discovery Princess first started sailing, I believe her first sailing was on March 27th of 2022, just this year. And so we'll see what we've got here. So they come in this nice box here, and it's got the ocean medallion thing there on the back. So let me open it up here so that you can see. But anyway, one time we both got blue medallions. And so ever since then, I always wonder what color we're going to get. So let's see what they sent us. Oh, indeed, they are white. Look at that. Isn't that fancy? Gordon's is the silver color for platinum, and mine is black for elite. So isn't that fun? I am really excited. Let me take it out here really quick and just show you. They're in the little plastic holder like they have come the last few times. The first time that we were back after the cruise shut down, they came in like a little bit more of a square plastic holder. But oh, these are kind of hard to get out here. I'll just tear the box because I don't need to save that for anything. So let's see if we can get it out here for you. So there you go. It just comes like this, and then you can just pop the little, you literally just turn around and push, and you can pop the little medallion out, put it in your bracelet or in the little holder, whatever you would like to do with it, and it's ready to go. Or if you just like it in this plastic holder, you can keep it in the plastic holder and then hook it onto a lanyard. There's a little loop right there at the top, if you can see that okay. I'm really excited. I do need to do that video for you that shows you the different kinds of holders that Gordon and I have tried and give you some ideas of what's out there. Like our Let's Go family member Jeffrey says, he's the one that has the blog called Cruising for One, so you should take a look at that. And it has a lot of valuable information, not only if you're just cruising for one, but if you enjoy cruising at all, it's worth a look. So anyway, like AirTag holders will hold these medallions as well. They're the same size. And so just wanted to make you aware of that. But I am really excited. So excited for this cruise, and I hope Gordon gets to come. We still don't know. We still don't know for sure if he's going to come with me or not, but I guess we'll see when it gets closer next week. So there's that. We're really exciting. We're very excited. If you're new around here, the Discovery Princess is going to sail October 22nd for 7 days round trip out of Los Angeles to the Mexican Riviera. We're going to stop in Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. And so we are excited. It's the Love Boat Cruise. And you know what? Will you all chime in down below? I had this thought the other day, you know, when they first announced the Love Boat Cruise, it was going to go at the end of February, and it was going to be to celebrate, part of it was going to be to celebrate Gavin MacLeod's birthday, because his birthday would have fallen during that 7-day cruise. Well, they were not able to do it because the original cast members were not able to come. That's the reason they gave that they changed it to in October. So, you know what I'm wondering though? I hope that they're not going to just focus on the new Real Love Boat reality TV show. I hope that they're going to still focus on and talk about the Love Boat TV show and that whole thing to do with the regular Love Boat TV show that all of us are so familiar with, and kind of what I wouldn't say that Princess got her start there, but it is surely the original Pacific Princess that was featured in that TV show, and so there's a little bit of history there. So I hope that this is just not about the reality show. So let me know what you all think about that, and of course we'll tell you how it goes. Now, the first thing that I want to talk to you about, I thought was really very interesting. Now, as you know, if you follow along and watch every day, we have Let's Go family members who are on the Majestic Princess right now on that Trans-Pacific sailing, and they are making their way right now down to Sydney, Australia. The really interesting thing to me, though, is as they were leaving, they said, you know what, we have found out we're going to have to be tested before we arrive in Hawaii. And then, so that happened. And then I got this update on Monday. A Let's Go family member was so kind to send this and said that they had just left on Monday Tahiti to head down to New Zealand. So they were on their way. So based on what they knew, there were at least 116 cases on board, if not more. And apparently they have like the COVID quarantine deck there, the area that was set aside on deck 9 for quarantining. But they said that they know that there are several cabins close to them where people have tested positive and are quarantining there. It was really interesting to me. They said that if like there's 2 of you in a cabin, you and your partner, friend, whatever, in a cabin, and one of you tests positive and the other one doesn't, the one has to stay in their cabin that tested positive, but the other one can come and go as they wish. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. And so my guess would be that if somebody has it, it's just really interesting. You wonder if the other person wouldn't get it. But I guess that's neither here nor there. Anyway, when they got to Tahiti, then it says the data that they arrived in Tahiti, the Tahitian government quarantined the Majestic Princess for several hours, preventing all passengers from disembarking. So some of the passengers even missed their private tours. It says the ship was released from quarantine following negotiations between the ship and the government at around 10 a.m. in the morning, and that was on Friday, October 7th. It says the Majestic Princess has requested 3 of the rapid antigen tests of all passengers since leaving Los Angeles so far, and they suspect that more is going to be required before they reach New Zealand and Australia. He said that also, we are also aware that never mind. That part I already told you about. So anyway, I found that really interesting, and it kind of ties into another email that I got from a Let's Go family member. Now, these people are on a Trans-Pacific. Keep that in mind. We have other Let's Go family members who are booked. They were booked on 2 transatlantic cruises, and as they prepared to go on those, they requested an exemption, because that's what you're supposed to do on those enhanced voyage cruises. You need to ask for an exemption, and the transatlantics are those kind of cruises, so they requested that. Now, they said that they never got like a letter or anything about it. They were just told over the phone that they had the exemption, and then they received a letter letting them know that they would need to test 3 days before embarkation, and again at embarkation, and then again as is required by any of the ports and countries that they were going to visit. And so they could end up having to be tested several times during the course of their transatlantic cruise. These people thought, you know what, that's a deal breaker. We don't want to do that, and so they canceled their cruises. Now, what I think is really interesting in that is they just shared with me how during the whole time that they were trying to find out exactly what was going on and when they would be tested, these kind of things, they could not get a hold of anybody at Princess that really could answer their questions. And I want to tell you, this is what I've observed, and I would really like your feedback on this as well in the comments, because it will really help to inform us all. And truly, this is part of the reason that I really, really wanted to start this channel, this community, is because there is so much information out there that we each gain every time we go on a cruise, we travel somewhere, that is not available by calling Princess or by calling anybody, really. It's things that you learn along the way. but that then we can share with other people and people can share with us to help us all have a better experience, to know what to expect and how to manage things better in our travels. So here's a couple of things. First of all, when you call Princess, their customer service, a lot of times they know things, hopefully, sometimes, quite frequently, but not always, about booking a cruise. They can tell you like what is on the list on their website for a hotel, like what Princess hotels are offered, but they can't tell you anything about the hotels really. They could just tell you what you would get. They can't even quite tell you everything you would get if you Googled it, because I don't think they Google things to tell you answers like, go to a hotel website and look at it for you. So what they basically know is exactly what is on the Princess website and what is in their booking system. They can't tell you anything about an excursion. They can't tell you anything about really the testing other than reading that little bit that is available on the Princess website. And so I want everyone here to start sharing your experience on if you are tested anymore, if you're on a transatlantic. I looked up, and the Sky Princess is the first one that's going to be coming back from Europe. She's going to be sailing October 19th of 2022, and they are calling it the 24-day Iberia and Canary Islands Grand Adventure, sailing from Southampton to Fort Lauderdale. So this is one of those enhanced voyages. I want to hear how often they test you, and just so that everybody can know what to expect as the rest of the transatlantics roll out. Like I said, that's the first one, and then they go into November. And so let us know. That will help people know who are maybe waiting to book last minute or looking at something else. That will really help. If you are not vaccinated, or even if you are vaccinated, if you're not vaccinated and you don't want to be tested at all, you should go on Norwegian. That's my best advice right there. Norwegian is the only cruise line right now that does not have any testing requirements. That and the American Queen voyages, but they're more like just, I hope that's the right name, American Queen Cruise Line. They do the river cruises here in the United States. But as far as like a big cruise line, Norwegian is the one to go on. If you only want to test one time, if you're not vaccinated, go on a regular cruise that is not one of those enhanced voyages, okay? Don't go on a transatlantic or a trans-Pacific, any of those kind of voyages. Those are listed on the Princess website, and I have talked about them before in other videos. But these transatlantics and trans-Pacifics, it sounds like there's going to be a lot more testing required. So I wanted to bring you all up to date on that. And like I said, we also, as far as like sharing information, the comments are a wonderful place. And if I see something and I think it's really helpful for everybody, often I will mention it, but sometimes we just have too much to talk about that I can't. But our Facebook group is excellent also. It's just Let's Go Travel Tips on Facebook. And lots of people post questions and information there that I think is really very valuable and will help you a lot as you try to plan your travels, or if you want to know how things are going on the ships right now. That's wonderful. So just like I said, be aware of that extra testing, and to be truthful with you, like it would stress me out to be tested lots of times on a cruise, because I just have the kind of worrisome personality that I would be worried that Gordon or I would test positive, and then what would happen next. That's just me. A lot of people it doesn't bother so much, and so I just wanted to let you know about that. Another really important thing that we need to talk about is Holland America's Oosterdam is going to be doing a transatlantic, and she was set, I think it's going to depart on November 5th. It is from, and it's going to sail from Barcelona over to Port Everglades there in Fort Lauderdale. And they have had to change the port from Fort Lauderdale to now she is going to be arriving in Miami. So it not only affects the travel plans for the people who are on that November 5th sailing that will be arriving there in Miami, but it also affects the following sailing of people who are going to be going on, I believe it's a 21-day Panama Canal. Let me get the official name of it here for you. It's, let's see, forgive me here. Let's see. Oh, it's a 31-night Panama Canal, Inca, and South American voyage. So that's going to be leaving out of Miami as well. Now, they don't really give a reason in the letter that they sent to all of the passengers on that cruise. And we have a Let's Go family member that was so kind to send it to me. It says, please be advised that your disembarkation for your upcoming Oosterdam voyage on Saturday, November 19th will now take place in Miami rather than Fort Lauderdale as previously advised. There has been speculation that there is already going to be too many ships coming into the port there in Fort Lauderdale and that they're just going to be too busy, and so that's why this ship is going to go there. But the reason that I'm talking to you about this is because the people who booked their air with Holland America, I'm pretty sure it's called Easy Air, Holland America is handling rebooking all of the flights for them. If you booked your hotel with Holland America, they are taking care of that for you as well. If you booked your own flights, you are having to scramble and take care of that yourself, whether you are coming back into Miami or if you were going to be flying, you thought you were going to fly to Fort Lauderdale to get on that 31-day Panama Canal cruise, you are now going to have to fly to Miami instead. So as I was thinking about that, I thought, you know what? That is a really good reason to use the cruise line air service. And you all know, if you are new around here, boy, we had a lot of trouble with our flights with Princess Easy Air this summer when we went to Europe. It was very stressful, and it didn't need to happen if they would have managed it correctly. But the bottom line is you know what? There are a lot of perks to using the cruise line's air service, and this is one of them. Because if you have to change your flight, then sometimes you have to pay the extra money for it. Whereas with this, Holland America would have just taken care of it for you. So say in the comments, let's discuss this as well and say what you think. I think that perhaps this is another good sign that we should consider using like I said, the cruise line air service. So let me know what you all think. Another thing that I think is important to take note of is the Huna Totem Corporation just barely started work on a whole new cruise port up in Whittier, which is really the port there that is associated with Anchorage in Alaska. If you haven't been there before, Anchorage is so beautiful. And then you get to ride on the, if you take the transfer, however you get down there, you get to see the most beautiful scenery as you drive from Anchorage down to the port. I want to say it takes maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour to get there, but the scenery is spectacular the entire time. And then you get right there into Whittier, and it is such a beautiful place. It is just so beautiful. And so they are building a whole new cruise port there, and they are doing it in connection with Norwegian Cruise Line. And so the cruise lines that are going to use that port when it is all done, they're spending $80 million on it. It is going to be used by Norwegian, Oceania, and Regent Seven Seas. And so it sounds like Norwegian, it really sounds like they are trying to up their game in Alaska, because you might recall, I don't know, I know I talked to you about it, that in Juneau, Norwegian had donated a piece of land that they had bought right there to build another port to this company. And so it would be built in cooperation with them. So of course Norwegian would get first dibs on docking there. And so that is starting up. I have not heard of the groundbreaking on that yet. This story has been released. I've not heard that in Juneau yet. But I would bet that if they have not started, they will be starting anytime. And so it sounds like really Norwegian is starting to, like I said, try to up their game there. Now, Norwegian has very few passes to be able to take cruise ships into Glacier Bay. Holland America has the most, and Princess is right behind. They are almost tied there. But then, Celebrity doesn't have any passes, I don't think, to go into Glacier Bay. If they do, it's very few. Norwegian has very few. Carnival doesn't have any. And Royal Caribbean doesn't have any. And so you have to kind of think about what experience you want when you go to Alaska. I think Alaska is such a unique experience that you think about things that you don't maybe think about if you're cruising to the to the Caribbean or something, or to the Mexican Riviera, things like that. It is very much a unique experience. So I wanted to let you know. And the other thing that struck me when they said, oh yeah, we've been trying here for a couple of decades, Norwegian said that they've been working in Alaska, and Holland America just celebrated 75 years of sailing to Alaska, and Princess is up to 57. So they've been doing it for a while now. And so, but I'm really excited that there's more cruise lines going, because you know what? The more cruise lines that go there, the more available it becomes to everybody. And I love that we can kind of choose what kind of experience we want, kind of what price point we want to work with, and everything when we're going to Alaska or to anywhere. So I thought that was really fun. They're going to have more availability there in Whittier. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk to us about is, you know, this whole time since cruising restarted and everything else that's been going on, Bermuda has held really tight to requiring people, vaccinated and not vaccinated, to be tested before you came to Bermuda. And you also had to fill out this online form that cost $40. You had to fill it out and submit it if you were going to come to Bermuda. Well, Bermuda has decided that they are doing away with the testing requirement. So starting on October 25th, testing is no longer going to be required whether you're vaccinated or not. You still have to do the $40 form. To be truthful, I betcha it's a nice moneymaker for them. But the really interesting thing to me about this is so many people, I've read several stories now about people who are trying to talk Carnival Cruise Line into not requiring any testing on the voyages they're going to go to Bermuda. Now, if you're not familiar with this, Carnival Cruise Line, just like all the rest except for Norwegian, still is requiring unvaccinated passengers to be tested before you go on a cruise. But there are people that were lobbying, and John Hilda's talked about it a lot, the brand ambassador there for Carnival, saying, you know, I know that you want me to try to talk, you know, to the powers that be and get that stop in Bermuda dropped off, but he said it's just not happening. Carnival is committed to going to Bermuda several times this next year, and so you're not, well, this year as well, but they are not going to take away the testing requirement at this time because they just don't feel good about doing that. So you'll be able to go to Bermuda. You won't have to be tested for that, but you are going to have to be tested as you get on your voyage, just like they're requiring on all of their voyages. And so that's what I have for you today. We have lots more still to talk about this week. Gordon and I are planning to be live on Friday night. We usually do that at 8 p.m. Eastern. And so if you can join us, put it on your calendar, and I'll try to remember to remind you again over the next couple of days. But we just need to get caught up a lot. Last Monday I had to go unexpectedly, and then this Monday that just happened, we were still out of town. And so we would really like to get caught up with all of you. We're really excited to talk to all of you about what cruises you're going on, answer any questions that you've got, and just have a nice time together. So we look forward to that. And if you haven't subscribed, will you please subscribe? We really appreciate it. We love to have you with us every day. This is kind of I like to think of it as like a series that every day we talk about different things to do with cruising, but at the same time, sometimes there's new topics and sometimes things carry over that's really useful for you to know. And so think about joining us every day, because we'd love to have you. And if you do appreciate these updates, please give this video a thumbs up, because that actually helps us. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.